Gabon President Ali Bongo is under house arrest as military takes over power from him. People are celebrating in support of the military coup in the street of Libreville in Gabon on August 30, 2023. A dozen of mutinous soldiers appeared on Gabonese national television announcing the cancellation of recent election results and the dissolution of all the institutions of the republic. Wednesday's announcement came after President Ali Bongo Ondimba, 64, was re-elected for a third term in an election the opposition described as a fraud orchestrated by the ruling party. The Bongo's family, one of Africa's most powerful dynasties, has been in power since 1967. The president has confirmed his under-house arrest and called for help, urging citizens to make noise.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, for the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence. Right now, I'm in the residence and nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise, really. I'm thanking you. Thank you.
There have been scenes of celebration in the Gabonese capital, Libreville, since the military takeover. The Commonwealth has voiced fears about the military coup in Gabon. The Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Patricia Scotland, said the situation was deeply concerning, adding that the Commonwealth was monitoring the situation closely. The Commonwealth Charter is clear that member states must uphold the rule of law and the principles of democracy at all times, Patricia Scotland stated. Military officers in Gabon say they have taken power and put the president Ali Bongo Ondimba under house arrest as the country becomes the latest in Africa to suffer an attempted coup, only weeks after mutinous troops seized power in Niger Republic. A group of military personnel appeared on state television to announce they were seizing power to overturn the results of a presidential election seeking to remove a president whose family has held power for nearly 56 years.
Ce jour, 30 août 2023, nous, forces de défense et de sécurité, réunis au sein du Comité pour la transition et la restauration des institutions, CTRI, au nom du peuple gabonais et garant de la protection des institutions, avons décidé de défendre la paix en mettant fin au régime en place. Les élections générales du 26 août 2023 ainsi que les résultats tronqués sont annulés. Les frontières sont fermées jusqu'à nouvel ordre. Toutes les institutions de la République sont dissoutes. Notre beau pays, le Gabon, a toujours été un havre de paix. Aujourd'hui, ce pays traverse une grave crise institutionnelle, politique, économique et sociale. Aussi, force est d'admettre que l'organisation des échéances électorales, dites élections générales, du 26 août 2023, n'a pas rempli les conditions d'un scrutin transparent. À cela s'ajoute une gouvernance irresponsable, imprévisible qui se traduit par une dégradation continue de la cohésion sociale, risquant de conduire le pays au chaos.
The officers introduced themselves as members of the Committee of Transition and the Restoration of Institutions. If successful, the coup would be the 8th in West and Central Africa since 2020. The most recent one was in Niger in July 2023, while the military has also seized power in Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso and Chad. In a video apparently from detention in his residence, Bongo Odimba called on people to make noise to support him. Crowds instead took to the streets of the capital and sang the national anthem to celebrate the coup attempt against a dynasty accused of getting rich on the country's resources and wealth, while many of its citizens struggle in poverty. The officers said they represented all Gabonese security and defense forces and announced that the election result has been cancelled. All borders were closed until further notice and state institutions dissolved. According to their words, today the country is undergoing a severe institutional, political, economic and social crisis. The officer said in a statement saying the 26 August election lacked transparency and credibility. In the name of the Gabonese people, we have decided to defend the peace by putting an end to the current regime. A Gabon army officer by the name Brice Oligui Nguema told French newspaper Le Monde that military generals would meet on Wednesday to decide who will lead a transition. The coup attempt came hours after Bongo was declared winner of an election marred by fears of violence. He was last seen in public casting his vote on Saturday. Gabon is a member of the OPEC oil cartel with a production of 181,000 barrels of crude oil a day, making it the 8th largest producer of oil in sub-Saharan Africa. It is home to more than 2 million people and is slightly smaller than the US state of Colorado. Unlike Niger and 2 other West African countries run by military juntas, Gabon has not been afflicted by jihadi violence and had been seen as relatively stable. But nearly 40% of Gabonese aged 15 to 24 were out of work in 2020, according to the World Bank. The political demise of Bongo fit a pattern of coups in French-speaking Africa in recent years. The French-educated Bongo met the French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris in late June and shared photos of them shaking hands. The French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne said France, Gabon's former colonial ruler, was following the situation closely. France has around 400 soldiers permanently deployed in the country for training and military support, including at a base in the capital, and has extensive economic ties to the country in the mining and oil sector. Before Wednesday's dramatic announcement, Bongo's spell in office was marked by disputed elections and a stroke that spurred rumors about his fitness for office and fueled a minor attempted coup. Niger and other Sahel countries have been fighting Islamist insurgency that have eroded faith in democratic governments. Gabon, which lies further south on the Atlantic coast, is not facing the same challenges, but a coup will suggest another sign of democratic backsliding in a volatile region. Vivian Mbo, a shopkeeper, offered the soldiers juice which they declined, and Jody Dikaba, a young man walking with his friends on a street lined up with armored policemen, said, "Long live our army." The French mining company Eramet said it was ceasing all operations in Gabon and was implementing procedures to ensure the safety of its staff and facilities. The company's subsidiaries in Gabon operate the world's largest manganese mine and a rail transport company. The private intelligence firm Ambry said all operations at Gabon's main port in Libreville had been halted, with authorities refusing to grant permission for vessels to leave. One morning flight at Libreville's Leon Mba International Airport had already been delayed earlier on Wednesday morning. A man who answered a number listed for the airport told Associated Press that flights were cancelled on Wednesday. The coup attempt came about a month after mutinous soldiers in Niger seized power from the democratically elected government, and is the latest in a series of coups that have challenged government with tears to France. Bongo, in his annual Independence Day speech on 17 August, said, "While our continent has been shaken in recent weeks by violent crises, rest assured that I will never allow you and our country, Gabon, to be hostages to attempts at destabilizing. Never." In his speech, Bongo acknowledged the widespread frustration over rising cost of living and listed measures his government was taking to contain fuel prices, make education more affordable, and stabilize the prices of baguettes. The EU's top diplomat, Joseph Barrot, asked about Gabon on Wednesday, said European ministers will discuss the situation this week. If this is confirmed, it is another military coup which increases instability in the whole region, he said. Out of the 486 attempted or successful military coups carried globally since 1950, Africa accounts for the largest number with 214, of which at least 106 has been successful. Based on data compiled by American researchers Jonathan M. Powell and Clayton Elton, at least 45 of the 54 nations across the African continent have experienced at least a single coup attempt since 1950. Asala Energy says its oil production in Gabon has been unaffected by the military coup in the country. We can confirm that all our personnel are saved, our operations continue as usual, and our production is not affected, a company spokesperson said. Gabon produces about 200,000 barrels a day of crude oil, making it the second smallest OPEC producer. Speaking to French newspaper Le Monde, coup leader Brice Oligui Nguema said the president will enjoy all his rights after the military announced it has placed him under house arrest. It is a Gabonese head of state. He is retired. He enjoys all his rights. He is a normal Gabonese like everyone else, Nguema said. However, Nguema confirmed that he will not declare himself the new president of the West African country. According to his words, "I do not declare myself yet. I do not envisage anything for the moment," he said. "This is a debate that we are going to have with all the generals. We will meet at 2 p.m. this afternoon. It will be about reaching a consensus. Everyone will put forward ideas, and the best one will be chosen, as well as the name of the person who will lead the transition," he added. British maritime security company Ambry said port operations in Libreville had stopped and no vessels had entered or departed from the port since the announcement of the coup. Ambry further stated that movement in and out of Gabon have been closed down following an early morning announcement by military officials. However, Russia has expressed concern about the situation in Gabon. Moscow has received its concern report of a sharp deterioration in the internal situation in a friendly African country. We continue to closely monitor the development of the situation and hope for its speedy stabilization, Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokeswoman Maria Zakharova told reporters. Political analyst Adama Gaye said the coup in Gabon does not come as a surprise. The Bongo era is over. Ali Bongo was no longer in the heart of the population in Gabon. He was not accepted by the opposition, who were very strong this time around, Gaye told Al Jazeera from Germany. There was also bickering between Ali Bongo and France to the point where 2 days ago on national television, a speaker said there was a coup attempt being masterminded by Emmanuel Macron and the opposition, he said. He, Bongo, was trying to create the condition for him to clamp down on the opposition and to fabricate another victory for himself in another rigged election. But this time around, the military realized that this was too far-fetched and they had to act, and that is what they did, Gaye added. However, French government spokesman Olivier Véran says Paris condemns the coup in Gabon and wants the election result to be respected. Earlier, Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne said France is following events in Gabon with the greatest attention. On Monday, President Emmanuel Macron denounced what he called an epidemic of coups in recent years in French-speaking Africa, from Mali and Burkina Faso. Paris maintains a military presence in many of its former colonial territories, including Gabon, where it has 370 soldiers, permanently deployed, some in the capital of Libreville, according to the French Ministry of the Armed Forces website. However, Gabon's coup leader says President Ali Bongo Ondimba is under house arrest and one of his sons has been arrested for treason. President Ali Bongo is under house arrest, surrounded by his family and doctors, they said in a statement read out on state TV. Ali Bongo's son, Bongo Valentine, his chief of staff, Langislin Ngolo, as well as his deputy, 2 other presidential advisors, and the 2 top officials in the ruling Gabonese Democratic Party (PDG) have been arrested for treason, a military leader said. They are accused of treason, embezzlement, corruption, and falsifying the president's signature, among other allegations, he stated.